What's up, guys? Welcome to our first Coffee Talk episode. This is Nicole Salter. I'm Eric Pacheco. We are realtors drinking coffee and just talking real estate. So, what do you have for us? You have a new listing. Congratulations.
I have a new listing. Thank you very much.
And
It is
what's
super
how
exciting.
many bedrooms is this?
5 beds, 4 baths, gorgeous house. Even has a bonus room upstairs.
And this is in Connerton, in
In
Land O'Lakes, Florida.
Land O'Lakes, Florida. Priced at $679.
That sounds like a perfect price to me. You did the comps, right?
I did the comps.
So you priced perfect?
I priced
Market
it
value?
in the middle.
So market value.
Yes, I didn't go low and I didn't go super high
Cheers to that.
because my sellers need to sell now.
And then where they're going, right? Sellers need to sell and where they're going.
They're going to buy another house.
So it's definitely
in
important
South
for them to buy
Carolina.
another house, right? And
Yes.
take advantage of this market that's
Yes.
shifting right now.
Exactly. And they cannot do that if they currently own their house right now.
And they can't
They
take advantage
need-
if they're sitting, right? We always
Right.
talk about price to
Yes.
sit or price to sell. That's
Yes.
our thing, right?
That's our
Is
thing.
that price to sit or is that price to
Is
sell?
it price
And you
to
don't-
sit or is it price to
And
sell?
we don't want a price to sit. We want to do a price to sell.
Correct. So that's what we did. We priced it so that it can sell. And we have some people that are interested. No final offers yet,
Right.
but
Got some action going.
we're waiting it out. We do have action going. A lot of multi-generational families.
I would
where
expect that. I
They're
would
like
expect that.
daughter and kids can be upstairs, mom and dad downstairs. Everybody share the
I would
kitchen.
expect that. These potential home buyers are these Gen Zers, these 22, 24,
Yes.
they want to be homeowners, but
Yes.
the price to buy a home right now is more than it's ever been.
Oh my
Unaffordability
goodness.
is
Yep.
at the highest it's ever been. It's
Yep.
tough. So living with mom and dad, saving money makes a lot of sense in this market. So I see that
Yes.
happening for sure.
Yes, and the good thing about the house that I have listed, although you're living with mom and dad, right? You still have your own like private living area. You have your own bedroom, you have your own bathroom, you even have your own living room. The only thing you're really sharing is the kitchen space.
Sounds like
And
another one-bedroom apartment.
if you eat out a lot, then you don't even have to worry about sharing the kitchen.
Kitchen's upstairs. Get a big trash can.
Right.
Right.
So it's really cool.
And it's a three-car garage.
3-car garage.
Three-car garage.
Yes, and
that brings value.
it's all open.
Yes.
A huge open 3-car garage. It's not 3 separate spaces. It's
Right.
one large room that can fit 3 cars, which is great because if you're like my family, then you just have a really big space to store a bunch of crap. Cars in the garage? I don't know. That sounds kind of funny in my house.
But and you have do you have a pool?
This house does not have a pool.
So
No.
if you had a pool, you'd probably be $100,000 more.
Oh, definitely.
$100,000 more. It's about the difference between an average listing and a
Yes.
home with a pool
Yes.
in our neighborhood.
It's a home with a pool is not only more value to the home itself, but it's pleasing on the eye.
Yes.
A lot of people will say, "Oh, I want that house with a pool over this house with no pool," even if it's $20,000 more. They will find the $20,000 to make it happen.
In our area is like $100,000 more.
Our area
I
is
saw the
$100,000
grand.
more.
I saw some comps today. It was the regular price was $783 for this particular neighborhood in the Arbors, but a house with a pool is $878. So $110,000 difference with a pool, without a pool.
Right.
In
Well,
the
I don't know
Arbors.
who could find $120,000, but you probably find $20,000 somewhere.
Yeah. So you priced market value.
Points.
Now, one of the things that I saw in looking at the comps, because you shared the comps,
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of the comps starting in the sevens,
Mhm.
dropping down from 750 down to 690.
Right.
What you did was get ahead of it.
Yes.
You got ahead of it. You saw what was happening in the neighborhood, and you know what? Why go here where everybody have price drops and miss the buyers who are waiting where the action is happening, right? Because we saw the
Right.
homes, these comparable homes,
Right.
going under contract and selling
Right.
at that number, 690s, between
Right.
690, 680. That's what we saw.
Right.
But they started in the sevens.
Well, here's the thing,
So
Eric.
I like that. I like that you jumped out ahead and said, "This is where we're going. I'm gonna go first."
You tell me, when you walk into a store and you see something on clearance, right? And it's something that you've wanted for a long time. Would you buy it at full price or would you buy it on clearance?
I buy it on clearance.
You buy it on clearance. So for me, because every day I open up my email and I see Zillow, price drop, price drop, price drop, price
Right.
drop.
I see it
Price
too.
improved is the new word.
It's the verbiage, you know, because that's what realtors. Here's a little fact about realtors. You know, when they overprice a listing, they like to tell their clients, "I'm sorry for overpricing, but we're going to improve it."
It's just a nicer word, right? It's a nicer word.
It's a nicer word for knowing you don't know how to price a home.
Price improved, right? And so the problem with that is when I see words like that, I'm thinking like a buyer. Many realtors, they don't think on both sides of the coin. They think only sellers or they think only buyers.
Right.
I like to think on both sides. I
As
want to
you
think
should.
about the buyer and I want to think about the seller. So here's my issue. When I constantly see price drop, price drop, price drop, price drop, that's a negative for me because I'm like, oh, you already went down 3 times. I could take you down again.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're looking for a better deal.
Exactly.
As
a
realtor,
buyer, right?
But as a buyer with the homeowner looking at it, that's what they think. Buyers always want more. They want to get more greedy, right? Sellers want to go greedy and then start bringing the price cut.
Exactly.
And as an agent on my end, when I see that, I'm dealing with an agent who's not informed of the market either.
Right.
I see that. I'm like, don't you read the stats? Then you do this.
Well, here's the thing, right? I don't always jump to blame it on the agent because it could be the buyer is just annoying and incompetent. The seller, I mean.
Seller.
It could be that the seller is just annoying and incompetent and they just want $1 million for their house that's only worth $600K, right? At the end of the day, the realtor works for the seller. So we have to put down whatever number they want. So if you want that number, that's on you. Right. If you see price drop, that's on you because this is the number you chose, right? So I don't always blame it on the seller. I kind of like to give the seller the benefit of the doubt and say, listen, I explained this to you. I told you this was going to happen and now it's actually happening, right? But in the event that it is the agent that messes up the price, you're right. They're not doing their sellers due diligence. No. They're not studying the real estate market. They're not looking at the numbers. Because if they did
it right? I mean, think about a listing. Let's say that we have a listing on our neighbor that started at $950.
Yep.
We studied this listing, right?
Did it start at $950 or $999? I think it started at $999.
It started in the 9. There was a 9 in front of it.
It started in the 9s, yes.
And now it's a 7.
Now it's listed at $799.
That's over $150, almost $200,000 below.
Yep.
The original price that was given to the homeowner.
Yes.
Right?
I look at
you
that.
sit in front of me and you say, Eric, I'm going to sell your house for over $900,000. And then you come to me 500 days later and we at $790, $100,000 less. I'm like, what the hell?
Exactly.
Sell my house.
Right.
I'm going to improve the price.
Right.
Let's get it right the first time.
Exactly.
And meanwhile, if you would have got it right the first time, in the beginning of $799,
right?
I would have sold in a month.
It would have been sold already.
I would have been buying and getting incentives before these rates hit 8%.
Yep.
A year ago.
Yep. That is
so timing
very true.
And pricing
is
incredibly important.
Yes.
And as an agent, for me, I called you one time when I told the seller where this is the price I will sell, and if you want to go higher, I won't represent you.
Right.
Remember I had that conversation
with
you?
Yep.
And I chose to do that because I knew the client had unrealistic expectations, and I didn't want the stress.
Right.
For me, it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
It was not worth it.
Yeah.
And I know that he was very ill-informed.
Right.
And this is the price.
Right.
And if you don't agree, well, I'm happy that I don't get the listing. At least I tell you the truth.
Exactly.
And I'd rather tell you the truth and not get it. That's my perspective. That's what I would do. That's how I do business.
Right. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's their decision.
Yeah.
Right.
And if they're willing to work with me, though, if they say, okay, we could work 2 weeks at this price, that's different, right?
You were real with them, and you showed them the numbers, you showed them the market, you had your proof, right? They went and spoke to somebody else, but who did they come to list their house?
And they came back. And that just justifies.
And they came back.
It just justifies. My ethics. What I'm doing. I'm doing it the right way. I don't want to tell you what's not true.
Exactly.
I can easily get a listing by saying the house is worth $25,000, $100,000 more than the market.
Right.
That's not true. Because if it doesn't work out,
then you look like the bad guy.
I look bad. You won't give me any business in the future.
Right.
You won't send your cousin. You won't send your brother.
Absolutely.
And me being a young or a new agent in the business, I need to be successful and tell the truth. Because we want those
Yes.
referrals. That's how we build our business.
Yes.
So there's a lot on the line in the business for us.
Right. There's a lot of things to look at when it comes to pricing a home too, like market trends, interest rates. What else do you look at when you're running comps to price a home?
Like you said, the trends, because appraisers go by trends too. If they see a neighborhood that's dropping 2% monthly over month, 2% over month, well, when they appraise the house, they are going with the recent sales.
Right.
They are not going back. Don't forget, these appraisers, the banks are relying on the appraiser.
Yes.
To get this mortgage funding.
Yes.
So they want to be exact. Yo, tell me what's happening in the last 2 months. Don't go back a month or don't go back a year.
Right. I want to know what's happening now.
5%. Tell me what's happening now when interest rates are 7% in the last 2 months.
Right.
So what's happening trending, that's what I rely on. If there's no sales, then I'll go back. But I stay in the same neighborhood.
Right.
I like to stay in the same neighborhood, same type of builds.
Yes.
That's what the appraisers do. So when I go to my comps, I work like an appraiser.
Yes.
I don't work like a cheerleader.
Right.
Oh, here's $1 million.
Right.
Oh, here's $800. And let's put it together and let me show my client and your house gets sold for this, knowing that I'm misleading, representing the information.
Or knowing that those houses have been on the market for 400 days.
Never do that. I would never do that. I'll never feel good about it. And I think the person who does, I think people who do that are just definitely misrepresenting the information.
Right.
I mean, and I think it's our job. As I think good agents, it's their job to be transparent.
Facts.
I've always got this
to share
review.
Facts.
He's transparent. I love his honesty. I've always got that review. I love how real he is. And I think that is what I like to represent. You know, he's real, he's honest, and he's going to tell you the truth, and he's transparent, even if it's against my own interests. Right? I won't take the listing if it's overpriced.
I totally agree with that. My top review is she's patient, because I'm not rushing anyone to spend all of this money. This is the biggest purchase that you will probably ever make in your life, unless you purchase a business.
And if you do it at the wrong time, and things go wrong, you're in trouble.
It can mess you up for a long time.
You get in trouble. I mean, big time. You go in the water, you lose your job, you miss 2 payments, foreclosure.
And there are agents out there that will rush people to pick a house that they're not even in love with.
I've seen it. I've heard the stories, and I think again, the agent who comes from that perspective, where they're patient, will be in the long run the successful agent.
Yes. When you're looking for an agent, honesty, patient, those are things that you want, because you don't want to be rushed into spending tons of money for something that's worth pennies.
Houses are sitting on the market a long time.
Yep.
Why aren't their home selling? What isn't the home selling? What is your feedback on that?
They are still stuck in 2020 and 2021.
I agree.
They want the biggest bang for their buck, and when their houses are sitting on the market 2 and 3 months at a time, they're like, well, what happened?
Right.
What did I do?
Right.
Right.
I think you're right on that. I think probably heard their friends, hey, my house sold for this amount of money. This is sold in 2 days, multiple offers. And then they want to come in and try to sell, and it's not the same.
It's not the same
response for them.
Exactly. It's not the same market anymore. So, I was doing some research, and an article that I was reading said home appreciation, it appreciates by about 6% per year.
Correct.
I have a house listed on the market. It was brand new in 2017, and I am appreciated at 61%. It is unreal.
Right.
And people still think I priced it too low. It is not natural. 61% over the price that it was purchased for.
Right.
What's that? 17? What's that? 5 years ago? 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 6 years ago.
Right.
6 years ago.
You know, I was
and I'm
reading.
At 6, that's 10% a year.
I was reading that houses are a liability, right? Unless you take care of it.
Unless you take care
of the home, then it's an appreciating asset.
Right.
But because of this, what we went through with COVID and the demand, people were selling homes not in great shape for over the asking price. Multiple offers, because buyers were buying the loan.
Yes.
They were buying the loan. They saw the COF, the cost to finance a home, 3%, 2.5%.
Yes.
And more. These were homes. They needed some work. They don't care. They wanted to live in a home, $1,400 a month, $1,300 a month. They're buying the financing.
Right.
And
at that time, rent was the same price as owning a home.
Yes.
Today, it's not necessarily the case.
Right.
for sellers
risky.
that are selling their homes, you can choose how much you sell your home. At the end of the day, the realtor works for you, right?
Agreed.
However, you want to make sure that this price is suiting your lifestyle. If you know that you are buying another home and it's not going to be built 8 months from now, price your house high. It doesn't matter. You got 8 months to kill anyway, right? But if you know that you need to move in 2 weeks, maybe you should price right or even price under so that you can get someone to come in and say, oh, this house might be worth more than 600K. I'm going to give you 7.
And you think about other buyers would think the same way, right? Like, oh, it's below the market value. I want to give 7. So now you just started a whole bidding war.
Exactly.
You created demand for a
Yes.
listing by pricing it perfect.
Yes.
Right? Or a little bit below the market value.
Yep.
Right? And you
start the bidding war. Everybody's like,
a
oh,
sale. Hey,
yep,
come get me.
yep. I
Everybody
want
comes.
that. I want that. I
Right.
want that. I want that. And then before you know it, you have way above asking.
You created demand that way. Right?
Yes.
What's another reason why homes don't sell? Because sometimes they sit on the market too long.
Homes also sit on the market because of condition and flow. Sometimes, especially older homes, the flow is just different. What's trending right now is open floor plan, right? So when you go into an older home and you see that the kitchen is blocked off, the dining room is blocked off, the living room is blocked off, everything is blocked off. People look at that and they say, oh, this is going to be a project. This is a project home. I went to a house one time. I did an open house actually. And the term for the open house was potential. Every single person that came in said, oh, this house has potential. That is the word they used because it needed a lot of work.
Right.
But they priced it too high. And so it sat on the market. Now, if that is your goal for your house to sit, then you price it as high as you want. But if you want to sell, if you know you need to get out of this house ASAP, you need to price it correctly.
All right. So to do a quick check, why houses don't sell again? Let's go down the list real quick.
Houses don't sell because they're overpriced.
Overpriced.
They're
not priced to condition.
Nope, not priced to condition. You don't see what they look like. Oh my goodness, a big one that we did not speak about, but that'll be in the next episode. They have too many virtual pictures.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
These pictures. That's what they pay for, right?
Too many virtually staged
don't
pictures.
Don't forget neighborhood trends, right?
Neighborhood trends.
Pricing them, they're taking the comps from different neighborhoods and focusing on your own neighborhood. Right?
Yes.
Neighborhood trends.
Some agents are only after money. Listen, I'd love to sell your house for $900K so that I can get the commission on $900K.
Bad information, misleading
information. Guess
what?
If your house is not worth $900K, I'm not going to get the commission, and your house is not going to get sold.
Right.
So both of us are going to be messed up.
Right. So misleading information. Right.
Yes.
Misrepresentation of the information, and maybe sellers is not being
realistic,
properly advised, or being informed of what the market is.
Yep. Right. And they're not being realistic. They're still thinking about prices from 2020 and 2021. When people were desperate for that 3% interest rate.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick before we close, right? I mean, buying a house back then, people were buying the payments, right?
They're buying the payments.
It was an incredible time.
Right.
Never before in history did we see real estate
rates that low
ever.
Right.
And it definitely was a big problem because now look where we at now.
Right.
We have the homes stuck plateaued now.
Yep.
Sellers have wrong expectations of the market.
Yes.
They think that that's normal. That is not normal. It's never happened before. And now we usually in the past 30 years, interest rates were on average between 4% and 6%.
Right.
This is where we belong.
Yep.
Right here. Being at 2 and 3 was
now
was like a unicorn.
Interest rates now are what? 7.5, almost 8?
7.5 for a perfect credit score.
No, we talking 750.
You know,
almost perfect.
750 is a perfect credit score. You're getting 7.5%. So if you're under that, you're in the 8s. You're in the 8s. And a lot of people think, okay, we'll buy a house, refinance, but that's when you need a realtor.
Yep.
To make sure you're buying
a house that will appreciate.
Houses that appreciate in a neighborhood that is appreciating.
Yes.
And you want a realtor to run the stats of your neighborhood. Don't just have a realtor who cheerleads, takes you and buys. Oh, let's run the stats. Let's make sure that this home is going to appreciate.
Let's give you the information, the facts behind it.
You can't just refi. You need equity in your home to refi. A lot of buyers don't know that. So thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, awesome. Eric. Yes.
My is finished.
I
Mine's
know.
is finished.
You're gonna be up all night.
I am.
Don't call me tonight to come and pick you up.
I'm gonna work for you though, guys. One of you guys call me. Let's talk real estate after this. Right. Anyway, real estate with Eric and Nicole, episode 1 in the books. Stay tuned for episode 2.